How many days it gonna take? You switch on me and I ain't get a break. If I hop off, then the levee gon' break. If I take two, then I'm off into space. Put all that down, pour all that out. I'm done without, we on the now. Step after step, day by the day. Live for the night and I'm never gon' break.
Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 4 upsets to bet. Ready to get into it. Thanks for checking out the videos. First game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Vikings plus 2.5. Give me the Vikings. And I get it. This is a dangerous situation. Firstly, I don't want to start with Jordan Love. I want to start with LaFleur. It was absolutely awesome what he did with Malik Willis those 2 games. Going to Tennessee with Malik Willis, he made it look easy, but we know that's like playing on extra hard difficulty. And we saw a Packers team that is more physical than previous years. That's been my biggest slight against them. And it does seem like Jordan Love will play. I've been saying that for a week and a half, but I think he was rested for this game, and it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. But can I just ask you guys a question? Is there a defensive coordinator you wouldn't want to play against after coming off an injury that limits your mobility after you were on the couch for 2 weeks? I just wouldn't want to see Brian Flores. And what he did against the Texans was absolutely insane. Zone blitzes, his best pass rusher, Turner, out of the game. Yet the Vikings created pressure, played schemes that you just couldn't even decipher and confused Stroud, who isn't easy to confuse. I think the Vikings defense is the reason why they win this game. And I want to look at someone like Stephon Gilmore. Everyone panned that signing from the Vikings, but he's helping this secondary a ton. The weak link of this team is the corners. But I'm looking at these Packers wide receivers. You got Reed, you got Watson. But can I be honest, man? They're pedestrian. Like, they really are pedestrian. And I think when you look at both of these teams, the Vikings have more pop. And I'm not saying Sunshine Sam Darnold is better than Jordan Love. I'm not saying anything like that. But when you got Justin Jefferson, when you got Aaron Jones, when you got a healthy Addison coming back, I just feel like the Vikings have big play explosion, and I think that's what's going to shift this game. Now, I don't want to judge Love too harshly about week 1 against the Eagles, because he was brilliant at times, and we know week 1 is almost like a new preseason game. But where I think this game is decided, I think it's decided in the red area. And you saw the Eagles play great defense in the red area. And I think that's the difference in this game. I trust O'Connell more in the red zone. I trust the Vikings run game more this game, actually. And that's crazy when you have Josh Jacobs and a Packers offensive line playing at full tilt. But just look at some of these plays the Vikings have had in the red zone. Like, everyone wants to talk about that long 97-yarder to Jefferson. Everyone wants to talk about that. But I want to talk about the Vikings doing the small things, and I think Flores is the difference in this game. If Love wasn't hurt, if Love wasn't coming into this game 80, 90%, it might be a different story. Give me the Vikings, and I'm surprised that I am still on this Vikings wave. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Rams plus 3. I got the Rams to win. And you look at the offensive line, I think we got 3-4 starters out. The best offensive linemen are now on the IR. I'm extremely concerned about it. But you want to know what I'm not concerned about? I'm not concerned about Matt Stafford. I'm not concerned about Sean McVay. I feel like when you give those two guys any sort of opportunity, they can create magic. And what they did against the 49ers was magic. And I'm not trying to get emotional about it. Did Caleb Williams look a little bit better against the Colts? Yes. But the ball security is absolutely horrendous. And yes, I was team Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams. But I'm not going to let the preseason glazing of Caleb Williams by Twitter slop accounts get me down on him. But what I am down on is this Bears offense schematically. It just looks unorganized. They look sloppy. They're not establishing the run game the way they should. Offensive line is missing blitz pickups. And one thing you know when you play the Rams, Kupp's out. Nakua's out. We know that's not a great situation, but we know they're going to come into this game well coached. And I just have to say, I'll start with my initial point. Is this the best version of Matt Stafford we've ever seen? And being completely honest, I don't think there's a quarterback who has had a higher degree of difficulty this year with all the situations, all the matchups than him. And yet he just keeps making plays and he keeps dropping dimes. Not a lot of science. It's Matt Stafford against Caleb Williams, and I'm going with Matt Stafford. Also, a little bit worried about this Bears interior. They held up good in the first half against the Colts, and then as the game went on, the Colts started leaning on them. Then they pounded them into oblivion. And we saw the Rams get the run game going last week. Finally, Kyren Williams, he left the milk carton, and we saw what he can do. Give me the Rams. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers plus 4.5. I know every time I do this with the Panthers, it ends badly. But I just want to say, why not? I'm not telling anyone to run to the book and put a big one in for the Panthers. I'm not. But I told you guys, this Panthers team isn't as bad as you think. Like, they had a generationally bad NFL quarterback in Bryce Young, and Andy Dalton proved my thesis statement that I had since week 2 of last year. I'm not hating on Bryce Young. I kind of feel bad for him, actually. But Thielen out of this game is a bit of an issue, but we're looking at a Bengals defensive line that just can't get any pressure. And I was worried about it going into the year, but watching that Commanders game, I know they had 2 starters in the interior injured, but it just wasn't good enough. There was no edge rush. They weren't beating up a Commanders O-line that is pretty suspect when they're pushing back in the pass block stance. And also, I want to say, everyone said last week, and sorry to my Patreon users, I gave the Commanders-Bengals game no attention. It's because this Bengals team is Mickey Mouse. You do not want money involved with them. The NFL is a battle. It is a gladiator sport, even when they change the rules. And the Bengals continuously make Mickey Mouse decisions. They're not ready for the year. And if you're not ready for an NFL season, you will get humbled. You will get beaten down. So I guess the argument is, Lawson, Bengals got to win one, right? I would have thought that last week, not necessarily. Next game, we got the Cleveland Browns at the Las Vegas Raiders. Browns plus 1. Listen closely. I don't do this a lot, but I'm changing the pick. I know it's an upset show, but this is my opportunity to change the pick. Now, I'm extremely concerned about this high ankle sprain of Max Crosby. I am, but I'm very concerned about this Browns offensive line. And can I tell you guys something? Why I needed to get on here urgent is because I don't think Deshaun Watson's the biggest issue with the Browns right now. I'm not trying to have a hot take machine, but if you turn on that Giants film, their right tackle, DeJuan Jones, isn't even getting out of his stance. Jedrick Willis is hurt. Wyatt is on the IR, and you just don't know where the blocking's going to come from, and they're simply not a functioning entity, and I'm on Team Fade Minshew. I didn't want anyone to fall for that junk. But also, this Browns team has way more problems to solve than just Deshaun Watson. I just needed to get that information out there. I don't know if I've ever seen a worse right tackle performance. And Jones got subbed in, subbed out during the game. They subbed the backup in. The backup just whiffs on Thibodeau. Deshaun Watson gets blindsided. It was honestly like one of Deshaun Watson's better games, as crazy as that sounds. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money. Over-unders tonight. Live call-in show Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll talk about those closing lines and get your Patreon questions out in the open. You guys help a lot of people with the Patreon questions. Let's go. Let's get this money. Week 4, baby.